Let me ask you something honestly. Right now, are you thinking about booking a salon appointment? Just because of your gray hair? Have you ever heard someone say, "You look so much older with gray hair"? People won't take you seriously if you let it go gray. It just doesn't look professional. Well, today everything you thought you knew about that might be completely wrong. A study from Yale University revealed something extraordinary. People who embraced their gray hair naturally lived, on average, more than 7 years longer than those who didn't. That's a bigger effect than quitting smoking. Bigger than exercising every day. Bigger than managing your blood pressure. Stay with me until the end of this video, and the way you think about hair dye may never be the same. I still remember the first time I found a gray hair. Standing in front of the mirror, spotting that one single white strand. The immediate instinct: pull it out. Cover it up. Make it disappear. For so long, gray hair has carried a stigma. A sign that you've let yourself go, that you're past your prime. Talk to any salon owner and they'll tell you their most loyal clients are the ones who come in every single month, without fail, just to cover their roots. The cost of dye, the time in the chair, the damage to the scalp repeated for decades. But here's the question I want to ask you today. Who are you really dyeing your hair for? Is it truly for yourself? Or is it because of what other people might think? That question, science has a very clear answer for it today. In 2002, a research team led by Dr. Becca Levy, a professor of epidemiology and psychology at the Yale School of Public Health, published a landmark study. It appeared in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, one of the most prestigious psychology journals, published by the American Psychological Association, and immediately drew global attention. Here's how the study worked. The researchers used data originally collected in 1975 in the state of Ohio. At that time, 660 adults aged 50 and older were asked to respond to statements like these. As I get older, things are better than I thought they'd be. As you get older, you are less useful. In simple terms, they were measuring how each person viewed the process of aging. Then, the research team tracked these same individuals for the next 23 years, cross-referencing with national death records. The result was stunning. People with a positive self-perception of aging lived an average of 7.6 years longer than those with a negative perception. And this held true even after controlling for age, gender, health status, and socioeconomic background. In other words, they ruled out the obvious objection well. Healthier people are just naturally more positive. Here's what makes it even more remarkable. That 7.6 years? It's larger than the survival benefit from quitting smoking. Larger than the benefit gained from regular exercise. Dr. Levy herself put it this way. Older individuals with more positive self-perceptions of aging lived significantly longer than those with less positive self-perceptions of aging. So why? How can a mindset actually change how long you live? The research team identified 3 key mechanisms. The first, will to live. The analysis found that the bridge connecting positive aging beliefs to longer life was, in large part, what researchers call the will to live. People who accept aging naturally tend to stay more engaged with life. They keep learning, stay socially connected, and look forward to tomorrow. Those who fear and resist aging, on the other hand, may unconsciously begin to disengage, slowly withdrawing their energy from life itself. The second, the self-fulfilling prophecy. Dr. Levy conducted another fascinating experiment. Older adults were shown different sets of words before taking a memory test. One group saw positive words: wise, insightful, experienced. The other group saw negative words: senile, dependent, declining. The result? The group exposed to positive words scored significantly better on the memory tests. The mind shapes the body. When you tell yourself, "I'm getting old," and that means decline, your body actually begins to respond that way. Blood pressure, heart function, immune response, all of it can be affected. The third, reduction of chronic stress. The act of hiding gray hair. The anxiety of looking older. The constant monitoring in every mirror. That is chronic stress. And chronic stress continuously elevates cortisol, which suppresses immune function and damages blood vessels over time. The moment you accept yourself as you are, that unnecessary tension begins to dissolve. A follow-up study by Dr. Levy's team confirmed this as well. Among adults over 70, those with positive aging attitudes were 44% more likely to recover from a disability than those without. So how did we come to fear gray hair so much in the first place? This isn't a personal failing. This is something that was done to us from the time we were young. Advertising, television, and media have delivered one consistent message. Youth equals value. Aging equals decline. Look at any hair dye commercial. The before and after. The sudden confidence, the radiant smile as if gray hair were a problem to be solved and covering it were the cure. In workplaces, the bias runs deep, especially for women. Gray hair has long been coded as unprofessional. Past your prime, no longer relevant. Psychologists call this age-based appearance pressure. And the most insidious thing about it? Because it starts so early in childhood, in the media. We mistake it for our own opinion. Dr. Levy has noted exactly this. Negative age stereotypes often form decades before old age, so they are rarely questioned. The anxiety you feel when you spot a gray hair in the mirror, that was not born inside you. It was planted there, over decades, by a culture that profits from your insecurity. So what actually happens when people stop dyeing their hair? Research and personal accounts tell a remarkably consistent story. After I made the decision, I felt lighter. The salon appointments, the root checks, the mirror anxiety gone. That mental energy flows somewhere else. Somewhere more meaningful. I started trusting myself more. Because choosing to stop dyeing is ultimately a declaration. My worth is not determined by the color of my hair. That is the essence of what psychologists call self-acceptance. And here's something interesting: people who go gray naturally often receive more attention from others, not less. Because it reads as confidence. As a deliberate, conscious choice. The most recent research from Yale, published in 2026, found something even more striking. Nearly half of adults, over 65, showed improvements in their cognitive or physical ability. And the single most consistent factor was a positive attitude toward aging. Aging is not decline. It is the next chapter. Let me bring today's video together. What Dr. Levy's 23-year study at Yale ultimately showed us comes down to this. How you see aging determines how long and how well you live. Whether you dye your hair or not isn't really the point. What matters is the feeling behind that choice. Are you hiding because you're afraid of other people's judgment, afraid of what it means? Or are you free to simply be yourself? Imagine standing in front of the mirror, looking at those gray strands, and being able to say, "This is the proof that I've lived. And I'm not ashamed of it." The moment you can say that, something in both your body and your mind begins to change. If today's video gave you something to think about, please hit like and subscribe. And leave a comment below, I'd love to know. Are you still dyeing your hair? Or have you decided to let it go natural? See you in the next video. Thank you.